raucous and exciting applause for our next speaker. Here you go.
I have two younger sisters. Towards the end of 2023, the older of the two, she's 12 now and was 11 at the time, began to experiment with skincare products. Instead of begging my mom to take her to Dave & Buster's or to get ice cream, she began to beg for trips to Sephora and Ulta Beauty, and would gravitate towards the Target beauty section instead of toys and games like she used to. Now, I'm a generally oblivious person, so it took me a little while, but my parents began to notice a change in her. My mom is from the Mediterranean, and my sister was fortunate enough to inherit skin that, regardless of winter or summer, always manages to have a bronze or tan color to it. Her face, after she began experimenting with skincare, her skin began to lose its hue. Her face grew very pale, as it was where she was using the most products, while the rest of her body retained its usual shade. I remember my mom growing slightly panicked and my dad delving into research. They eventually took away most of the skincare products she was using, save 1 or 2 moisturizers, and her skin miraculously went back to its normal color. Situations like this are not unique to my sister. Recently, there has been a massive increase in girls as young as 10 years old beginning to utilize complex skincare regimens. Dermatologists and even some brands have noticed this and have begun to issue warnings on social media. Specifically, many anti-aging products contain aggressive ingredients such as retinoids, acids, and high-dose vitamins. These are designed for mature skin and can lead to dryness, irritation, and damage to the skin barrier on younger and more sensitive skin. However, there is a double standard. According to a CNBC article, from 2022 to 2023, teen spending on skincare rose by a staggering 19%. Teens across the country have self-reported their favorite stores and brands to several studies, and it was found that Sephora was at the top, with 37% of teen girls claiming it as their favorite, followed by Ulta Beauty at 31% and Target at 10%. When Ulta CEO David Kimball was made aware of this, he was proud to say that young girls are interested in not just makeup, but brand name and prestige. And that if they are not getting what advertising and pricing deems the best, then they don't want it. So, brands warn against certain products, but then beauty advertising also puts a lot of emphasis, especially on strong, confident, and stereotypically beautiful people using these products. This ingrains the idea into children's heads that in order to be strong, confident, and beautiful, they must use these products. But it wasn't always like this. In the 90s and 2000s, skincare and makeup was something that young girls did as a fun sleepover activity. It was every once in a while, and the whole purpose behind the activity was to spend time together, rubbing glittery eyeshadow on each other's eyes and mixing homemade masks. Sometime between then and now, there was a critical shift in that mindset. Nowadays, girls as young as 9 years old are visiting dermatologists for cosmetic consultations. Additionally, teens who have barely finished puberty are already raving online about how they can't wait to get Botox and recently purchased the newest anti-aging cream. This desire for anti-aging products and procedures has only been bolstered by the material girl mindset that has swept through the social media and US at large. What began as a way to empower women to embrace their femininity has turned into a practice rooted in capitalism, which has now begun to target young girls. In today's day and age, children are typically more in tune to pop culture and what's considered cool than their parents are due to the social media and internet access that they are being granted at a young age. Brands are aware of this and have started to market their products towards young individuals instead of the older population. Now, instead of materialism being a catchy line in a song, it is a morbidly expensive practice that not only has severe repercussions for the environment, which is a whole other discussion, but also has gripped young tween girls. They beg for trips to Sephora and Lululemon in order to partake in several $100 shopping sprees, all in order to fit the mold of what brand advertising tells them they need to look like. When my other sister had her 10th birthday party back in February, 9 and 10-year-old girls were coming to our house with the newest model of iPhones and bags of skincare and makeup products. Several times, these girls excused themselves from party activities in order to text friends, check their social media, or do their skincare. The fact of the matter is kids, specifically young girls, are being pushed away from traditional childhood experiences in lieu of these practices. Brand marketing is forcing kids to grow up sooner rather than later, and kids are too naive and impressionable to realize that the age they are now is exactly the age they are meant to be. Several studies have been done on young girls in order to dissect this idea. One article published by the Korean Society of Design Science in 2018 made some interesting findings. Girls in 5th and 6th grade were surveyed and asked questions regarding their own mental health, perceptions of makeup, and use of makeup. The study found that those with positive self-esteem had strong desires to follow makeup trends in order to stay relevant in the eyes of their friends. whereas those with negative self-esteem turn to makeup as a way to change their appearance and as an attempt to turn feelings of inferiority into those of positivity. Neither is an exceptionally positive outlook. Several other studies have confirmed this idea that women and girls wear makeup in order to feel better about themselves, or in other words, the positive relationship between cosmetic usage and self-presentation. Additionally, appearance orientation has gained much traction. For example, not complimenting someone based on physical attributes, but material things. So saying, "I like your shirt," instead of "you look pretty." While this is by no means a harmful comment, it does, however, encourage a feeling of self-worth based on material possessions instead of love and appreciation of oneself. There is also a strong relationship between appearance orientation and eating disorders, narcissism, and self-objectification among women and girls. The mass increase in young girls utilizing makeup and dressing more maturely brings with it a strong possibility of self-objectification if they have not begun to do so already. Today's beauty standards, social media, and the advertising of clothing and makeup brands has pushed young girls towards abandoning traditional childhood experiences in favor of material obsession, self-objectification, and a progressively egocentric way of thinking. As a society, we need to break away from trying to fit a certain standard that companies tell us we can achieve through buying their products, an impossible expectation and a mentally debilitating task. Addressing the Sephora girl crisis can be the first step. Thank you.